the chairman, Kenya Association of Manufacturers, the CEO of Kenya Association of Manufacturers, the PSs present and in their full numbers, PS Cooperatives, Patrick Lemy, PS MSME, Susan Mangeni, a PS who has just left, Professor Mukwana of Industry, the PS Livestock, Hari Kimutai, Madam Shiru Waweru, the SME chair at CAM members, present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Hamjambo. Thank you. I think also, picking from where the two speakers left, I think this is a very important convention. We are at that point as a country, we are at that takeoff point as a country that require conversation, deep dive conversation on what exactly we need to do. We've had many initiatives right from our independence, from the colonialists to where we are. A number of programs have been developed. A number of initiatives have been also pushed forward, but we still have a challenge. The summary of the CEO and the chair, that SME, there are about 7.5 million SMEs in the country, contributing about 30% of our GDP and 80% of our jobs, which are largely informal. So what ails us? Where is our problem? How come we are 85% informal and 15% formal? And most of these informal jobs are in MSMEs. So we need then to honestly and consciously engage in a candid talk. And they could be as simple as what the chair said, by engaging a photographer who then transition to an industrialist 20 years later. It could be that example and many other examples. So it is because of that thinking that His Excellency the President, in his own wisdom, thought it wise to establish a standalone ministry of SMEs and cooperatives. Because we have realized that we are largely as a country in that sector. You know, Chair, you told me about breakfast when we took tea. And also, personally, up to this moment, I think Kenya Association of Manufacturers is a big boys club, big boys and girls club. But from your numbers, you have told us 52% are SMEs. And you've also said you are an SME. We have many examples in my ministry who were incubated by Kenya Industrial Estates and accelerated. And the CEO is here, Dr. Pamain Narikai. We have people like Ako Industries, who started as a one-man business. Today is a multinational owned by Kenyan and South Africans. We have people like Nice and Lovely, who were sold recently to a French conglomerate for over 3 billion shillings. We even have this guy who runs a logistic farm called Buseki. He started with a small milk dairy plant in Molo, acquired another one in Kilifi, later on sold to Brookside, which is owned by Kenyan and French, for 3 billion shillings. We have Kibuku Foods, Mastermind Tobacco. So we have local examples that we can really pick and follow, and they have been successful. So we cannot reinvent the wheel. We have huge potential among our MSMEs, and all SMEs are future MNOs, MNCs, if they get the right incentives, the right support, and policies and regulations. So I associate myself fully with the comments of those people. So it is a great pleasure to join you for this crucial convention, which seeks to showcase the MSME's manufacturing plans and opportunities under the identified 4 pillars of MSME development. That is export-led growth, industrializing agriculture, and global competitiveness. Let me express my profound gratitude to the Kenya Association of Manufacturers and its partners for organizing this important convention bringing us all together to explore sustainable solutions for mainstreaming MSMEs participation in manufacturing as a key driver of economic growth of not only Kenya, but also in the region. And I think, Chair, you got it right. We cannot grow by 10% if we don't focus outwards. People like China, we complain of their low standards, their quality, but they are still exporting. The world is looking for better prices, competitive prices. Those fellows, other fellows who are selling or exporting pens and toothpick for $2, you can get the same toothpick, which can actually be manufactured in Kenya at a much cheaper price. Those guys are making money. Bottom line is they are making money and they are exporting. Even if they sold to us furniture that lasts for a week, they are still exporting. So for us, we must look outward. The whole objective of bringing East Africa, coming up with economic blocks, is to expand our market. We are only 50 million people, but with East Africa, 7 countries, market from coast to coast, 300 million people, is as big as American market. We have huge potential within our borders, within our neighborhood. So let's look out. Let's focus on export markets. As has been said, MSME sector is the backbone of the Kenya economy. Its significance cannot be overemphasized. MSME account for vast majority of enterprises worldwide, making them significant contributors to job creation. A recent National Economic Survey report by Central Bank of Kenya indicates that MSME constitute 98% of all businesses in Kenya, create 30% of jobs annually, and contribute 3% of GDP growth. Additionally, the sector creates employment of 15 million people with value output of 3.3 trillion, making it a high priority segment in realization of the government agenda of bottom-up economic development. According to MSME Act of 2012, MSMEs are clustered into 4 sectors, which include manufacturing, trade, agribusiness, and services. Manufacturing is a very critical sector, and it offers the base for successful economic growth, since it helps generate virtuous and cumulative linkages with other sectors of the economy, drives technological changes and progress, that is industrial revolution, and has the strongest potential for productivity. Why do we really emphasize on agriculture, investing in agriculture and value addition? It's because we already have ready-made raw materials. We have wheat, our chair here, wheat, maize, rice, even dengu, and all this. We have a ready raw material source in our country. So it's easy to now transition to manufacture and focus in agriculture. Why do we still need to import cheese, fresh? Some even are imported. I saw imported water the other day from Europe. Why do we still need just bottling water? We have to import all the way from Europe, water which is naturally available here. We have abundant fresh water, but we still import. There is a certain fish popular in these big hotels in Nairobi, all the way from Norway, that is imported into this country. Here again, we are importing fish from China. So what are we really importing? Is it the fish, the packaging, or exactly what are we bringing to this country? The content, the quality of our tilapia is even much better and higher than the fish that we are importing. Why do we still import chicken and milk, and yet our farmers are pouring milk in Olkalau, in Timborwa, in Eldoret? So we have a gap between our consumers and our manufacturers. We have an opportunity there. So if I was you or I'm a businessman, I need to just go to customs, count how many bottles of water were imported yesterday, and I manufacture and package the same number of bottles here. In the same manner, like Chinese, you don't have to change anything. Just need to even talk to that fellow to give you the packaging, and you package the same water in Kenya as opposed to import. We don't have dollars. We are struggling to save dollars, and you are sending dollars to bring water. So this is a challenge. The other day, I got a gift of coffee. P.S. Kelemi is aware. Someone took our Kenyan coffee to Poland, put it in a bottle. They manufacture or they value add to crystals, put in a bottle. It's brought back, and I'm given as a gift by the same organization. This is Kenyan produce. Kenyan produce, but it's packaged in Poland and brought back. I asked, why do we have to export? Why do we have to send coffee all the way to Poland and back, re-export? I was told the machine cost 500 million. So we are not able to buy and install that machine to do value addition of our coffee. You can imagine. So we are sending out, we are taking away our dollars. We are failing. There's a serious gap between the consumers and our manufacturers. So there is a huge opportunity just working on our agricultural raw material. We have been told since our independence that agriculture is the backbone of our socio-economic transformation. It creates direct and indirect job or employment and contributes to food security through provision of chemicals, machinery, equipment, and mechanization of agriculture. Currently, as we speak, we don't have food on our tables. Everybody's crying. We have even gone to the extent of putting sufurias on our heads. But where is the problem? We have enough land, Kalana Kulalu. We have enough land to till and grow maize. Where is the problem? Is it possible for our cereals focused industries to organize farmers, work with the cooperative, Minister of Cooperatives, identify the cooperatives that used to grow maize, focus on our needs, our food, focus on our main food crops, and assure this country of food security? Is it possible for us to work with the PS Kimutai of livestock to export meat as opposed to struggling and selling carcasses to Kenya Meat Commission? We can develop feedlots like what is happening in South Africa. We have similar climatic conditions, or even better than Namibia and Botswana. But they are net exporters of meat. What do they do that we can't do? What can we do to better and secure our country from food insecurity? So I think let these fellows who are now trying to demonstrate also go back to the drawing board and rethink, what can we do to save our country from food insecurity? We have enough, even the short rains, with short rains, we can assure our people of food security. So as a government, we also have a lot of potential. We've come up with a number of pillars: the housing sector, and through production of construction materials and supports, and the health sector, manufacturing medical equipment and pharmaceutical products and hygiene products. There is potential also in that. We are net importers of pharmaceuticals, of health equipment, and all related services in the health value chain. Is it possible that we can begin? KEMSA is a supplier of medicine to all our public and most of our public and private hospitals. And all these commodities are imported. Is it possible for bulk importers or suppliers of health and health-related products to organize manufacturers and give them long-term orders for them to invest, as opposed to short-term arrangements where we need to import 10 Panadols this year and 10 nets next year? We can organize manufacturers and give them long-term contracts for them to manufacture. It is possible, so that we become truly a manufacturing country. The government is also devoting substantial efforts to grow Kenya MSMEs and cooperative ecosystem. By establishing the ministry, we have begun organizing, and our PS is here. We have organized the department into value chains, and we believe we will begin a conversation with the market, with Kenya Association of Manufacturers, other businesses. We have critical value chains. We want to partner with other departments of government like livestock, and I think PS Kimutai. We need to have a deep dive conversation on leather and meat and dairy value chain, because majority of our ASAL counties are in those sectors, and it is one way of opening up the ASAL part of Kenya, because they are already in livestock. What we need to do is to upgrade. So the Ministry of Cooperatives can help the business side of the business side of the value chain, and you help us in production. You help us in breeds and in terms of ensuring extension services, veterinary, and types of breed that we need. And we can easily become a net exporter of meat, milk, and leather as a country. So when we synergize, when we work together, we can really break down all these things to very simple activities. So I'm looking forward, and I'm very happy with the turnout of our principal secretaries, which means we are no longer working in silos. We want to deliver as one, we want to work as a team, and I believe Kenya will, through this collective effort, will be able to address our issues as one. So we've also seen that we have two challenges in supporting MSMEs: access to finance and affordability. And you've seen other initiatives that we came up with, the Hustler Fund. Many of us think Hustler Fund is a very small intervention in terms of amount and quantum. But I want to assure you that on a daily basis, 7 million Kenyans are borrowing and repaying that money. 7 million people, over 10% of our population, are engaged, are borrowing on a daily basis the Hustler Fund. Even to be more specific, 19 million people have already boarded this initiative. And they have already borrowed over 26 billion. 19.7 million Kenyans have borrowed 26 billion. And they have repaid back 16 billion, representing 62%. And the total savings, because in every disbursement, we take out 5%, which goes into their long-term savings and short-term savings. And the whole idea here is to encourage the culture of savings. Because in the end, when they hit the age of 60 and they are no longer able to work, then at least like you and me, they have something to fall back to. So they look forward. We will be able to improve their welfare and their living standards. Also, alongside that is other bespoke products that we will be coming up with. The universal health care. NHIV is engaging with us with a view of also taking out 17 shillings per day from this hustler and putting it in their health insurance, National Hospital Insurance Fund. And this amount will assure them of medical and accident expenses. At least when a hustler is hurt or through an accident or by sickness, he can walk to any hospital and they are treated and they are released. No one will be detained anymore and no more Harambes. So we are finalizing on that product. Hopefully soon we will again be able to launch after concluding the other products. Also on the same, alongside the same, is education policy for these people. So ladies and gentlemen, the ministry is deliberately focused on key value chains of the economy that have high economic potential and support significant segment of our population. These include agro-processing, leather, textiles, milk, edible oils, and construction materials. We are dedicated to enhancing cottage-level manufacturing as well as enhancing MSME aggregation in order to support value addition and enhance market linkage arrangements. At infancy, MSMEs face challenge of appropriate and affordable working spaces. Leveraging on constituency industrial development centers run by Micro and Small Enterprises Authority, the ministry is supporting MSME clusters engaged in cottage-level manufacturing with common user machinery to refine their production process. In the same endeavor, the ministry, through Kenya Industrial Estates, proactively and intentionally supports MSMEs by providing incubation in MSME parks in 35 counties across the country. In the case of enhancing, or rather on the two initiatives, CIDCs and KIE, we are open to all MSMEs to utilize and use all these facilities to incubate their businesses. We welcome MSMEs to join us, to reach out to us. We've recently signed a 2.7 billion facility with GIZ to deepen and support, digitalize, and even train and build more capacity for new MSMEs. So we welcome you, MSMEs, through CAM or individually, to engage us to utilize these facilities. In the case of enhancing the value of agricultural products, the ministry is focusing on post-harvesting handling, storage, and efficiency and linkage of appropriate markets on time, and especially staple food commodity products. The ministry is in the process of operationalizing cold storage facilities in Nyandarua, Meru, and Kisii counties. Recently, we launched one facility to store and secure potatoes. We produce about 1.5 million tons of potatoes annually as a country. 555,000 metric tons comes from Nyandarua County. So we have built a cold storage that can store 500 tons. We are going to expand or increase that storage capacity by doubling the space this financial year. So through those specific interventions, we can secure post-harvest losses from our farmers. We can ensure that through the coolers the Ministry of Livestock is doing, we'll also secure our milk from wastage, from losses, and even other fresh produce like horticulture. Again, we are making arrangements to ensure that we store them, we secure them, we safekeep, and we expect when all these potatoes are in the store or in this cold storage, then we expect MSMEs to come forth and do value addition. So we will aggregate. We will have milk in coolers. We are bringing in 600 coolers, 650 coolers. Now, the dairy, those involved in dairy and value addition in dairy should be organizing themselves around those cold storage, because milk will be aggregated around those storage. Those in supplying potatoes, those who do, let's not be giving KFC. In fact, KFC the other day said that our potatoes are not suitable for making chips. Now we've asked them, which is this? We want to have the seedlings, and we have already received them. We've put them through the process. KFIS have approved, and now we have already introduced those seeds to our farmers in Nyandarua, Timboroa, in Molo, and Elbagon. So I expect soon we will be taking our own chips from KFC and not imported chips. Because I thought they bring them, they cut them, chop them, put some salt and pepper, and then they tell us this is now the quality of chips. So we went back, working with our Ministry of Agriculture, and we now have the breed. So you people in MSME should go back to those cold storage and begin to chop those potatoes, cut them into their size. What do they want? What size of potatoes do they want? Because we are giving them the type that they want. So your job is to just cut them, package them, and deliver them to KFC in Kenya, KFC in South Africa, KFC in America, because this is what they want. Is that a difficult job for SMEs of Kenya? Just kuchukua kisu na chopping board na karatasi na kufunga na unatengeneza pesa. Hiyo ni kazi ngumu. So that we stop this nonsense, this business of importing chips, and we have chips going to waste in Kenya. And also for this cold storage of ours to make sense. Otherwise we look irrelevant by investing in a cold storage, and you people don't realize there's a government initiative here. There is an opportunity here. Imagine in that cold storage, we will have 500 tons of potatoes. Sasa wewe ni kuweka hiyo kisu yako na chopping board hapo kando. Ikitoka kwa hiyo storage, hiyo baridi, ni wewe kukata na kuweka kwa karatasi na unauza. And there is a ready market. Somebody is saying he wants these particular chips. This is a challenge I'm giving you. So when you see government making initiative, we cannot do the whole chain. We have aggregated, we have invested, we have put in the heavy investment. Yours is to utilize these facilities. They are all for you, SMEs. So take advantage of this opportunity. So we are looking forward, Mr. Chairman and CEO, to collaborate with Kenya Association of Manufacturers in the following key opportunity areas so as to mainstream MSME participation in manufacturing agenda. One is on the subcontracting. I like the simple explanation you gave. That is purely subcontracting. There is need for manufacturers to outsource certain tasks or projects to MSMEs so as to provide MSMEs with direct market linkages for supply of their products and services. There is need, secondly, for Kenya Association of Manufacturers to engage with us on contract farming. There is need for manufacturers whose raw materials are drawn from agricultural sector to contract farmer associations or cooperatives to supply these materials. Come to us, the Ministry of Cooperatives. If you told us, Mr. Shah, I have an order for 10 tons of meat, me and Kimutai and the Ministry of Agriculture will sit down. We will organize those pastoralists, especially the ones who have been causing trouble to my colleague Kindiki. We will organize them to now feedlots, with cows now weighing out from 50 kilos, which can run at the rate of 30 kilometers per hour, to 600 kilos of beef, of livestock. This animal cannot be stolen, cannot be, the bandits will have a challenge pushing these animals. So we will have solved a security problem, but we have also created an opportunity for those pastoralists to export meat. We will have controlled diseases. So if you also came back to us and told us you have an order for potatoes, through the Ministry of Cooperatives, we will aggregate. The SMEs will put the cold storage, the cooperative will aggregate the potato farmers, put the potatoes in a cold storage, and you pick them from the cold storage. So there's a lot of engagement or a relationship. We have a lot to share and work together. We also need to work on capacity building and mentorship so that we build the capacity with focus on mentorship of MSMEs in the manufacturing sector. And finally, investment in incubation and innovation parks. Manufacturers can support and spur innovation among MSMEs by investing in establishment and equipping of incubation parks for MSMEs and especially startups. So we have built already 170 CIDCs across the country. In 170 constituencies out of 90, we have built 170. You can begin from here. And if you also came to us and said, there are some missing equipment that you require to maybe value add certain crops, certain sector, we will go back and work out something. So let's begin from this 170. I want to see you actively engaging MSEA and working with these CIDCs. They are built for you. So take advantage of this opportunity. In conclusion, enhancing MSME participation in manufacturing agenda requires comprehensive approach that addresses both supply side and the demand side, all the constraints involved on both sides. It is imperative that we consider access to affordable finance, MSME's capacity building, enhanced market intelligence, digitalization, customer-centric business models, enabling environment and strategic partnership as crucial elements for powering MSME participation in the manufacturing sector. The ministry is looking forward to collaborate with the Kenya Association of Manufacturers and other relevant partners, not only to address the challenges hindering MSME participation in the manufacturing sector that has been discussed here today, but also develop sustainable and high-impact opportunities for enhanced economic growth of the country. In this regard, I seek support of the Kenya Association of Manufacturers during this year's Madaraka Day celebrations, which will be held on the 1st of June in Embu, and it is themed Cooperatives and MSME Growth. I want to see many of you participate in this year's celebration. We'll have 4 days expo to just profile and showcase what we are doing in as SMEs, as cooperatives. I've received overwhelming requests from individual members, but I would be happy if we can engage through Kenya Association of Manufacturers so that we can begin to build the SMEs in our country. So it's an opportunity for us, it's an honor for SMEs, it's a recognition by the government, and during that day we'll have the visit by the head of state touring the SMEs, at least, and we have scheduled that to be 29th of May. So we are planning towards that. There's already a team working on it in the ministry, and I want to invite you. I invited the CEO when he visited me. He paid a courtesy call in my office recently, and we would be happy to have your participation in the preparation for this. We want to make it successful, and we want to make it a national event, not just regional or Embu County, so that any SME could be in Mombasa, could be in Western, could be in North Rift, could be in Central and also lower parts of the country, those who are doing something. So that I realized, I participated in Embu Expo. Even the governor of Embu was surprised that many things that he buys from Nairobi are actually done in Embu, brought to Nairobi, and then she buys them from Nairobi without realizing they were actually coming from Embu. So because we don't publicize, we don't promote, we don't showcase our products. We have so much in our country, we have so much skill, we have so much potential, but we need to profile, we need to showcase. Some of these things we import. Imagine we still import toothpick up to this minute. Toothpick. Zamani tulikuwa tunatumia sindano ile ya miti. Someone has gone ahead and packaged those toothpicks and sold it, exported to Africa. You know, our teeth and our gums are even harder. Those toothpicks from those places, they break down. So you need about 3 or 4 after every meal. So we need to, let's go back to where we were. Ours are better and stronger. So someone should take advantage and go back and begin to manufacture even toothpick for our own. So with those many remarks, I want to close by saying I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and I'm also very happy with the conversation going on around the SME convention. With those many remarks, thank you very much, and I look forward to a very fruitful engagement, deliberations, and in the end, Bwana Chairman, let's get your feedback and also your way forward. It will be good to know what you people have decided, and as a government, we want to embrace the bottom up. So getting ideas from the players in the industry and using those ideas to come up with policies and programs. Thank you, and God bless you.